Nourishing the planet, nourishing conscience. Exploring ethical eating and sustainable food choices. Introduction. As our global population burgeons and environmental concerns escalate, the concept of ethical eating and sustainable food choices has taken center stage. Beyond satisfying hunger, it underscores the responsibility each consumer bears in making choices that resonate with values of social justice, environmental stewardship, and animal welfare. This exploration dives into the principles, practices, and implications of ethical eating in the context of sustainable food choices. 1. Defining ethical eating. Ethical eating encompasses a conscientious approach to food choices that extends beyond personal health to consider the broader impact on society, the environment, and ethical treatment of animals. It involves making informed decisions that align with one's values and contribute to a more sustainable and equitable food system. 2. Principles of ethical eating. A. Social justice. Ethical eating promotes fair labor practices, advocating for the rights and well-being of workers in the food industry. It rejects exploitative practices and supports initiatives that ensure fair wages, safe working conditions, and equitable treatment. B. Environmental sustainability. A key tenet of ethical eating involves making choices that minimize the environmental footprint of food production. This includes considerations for land use, water conservation, reduced carbon emissions, and the preservation of biodiversity. C. Animal welfare. Ethical eating encourages the humane treatment of animals throughout the food production process. It involves choosing products that adhere to higher animal welfare standards, such as free-range, cage-free, or pasture-raised options. D. Local and seasonal choices. Supporting local farmers and choosing seasonal produce reduces the environmental impact of transportation, supports local economies, and fosters community resilience. 3. Sustainable food choices. A. Plant-based diets. Plant-based diets, which prioritize fruits, vegetables, grains, and legumes over animal products, are recognized as a sustainable choice. These diets generally have a lower environmental impact and contribute to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. B. Mindful meat consumption. For those who include meat in their diets, choosing sustainably sourced and ethically raised meat can mitigate the environmental and ethical concerns associated with conventional meat production. C. Reducing food waste. Ethical eating involves minimizing food waste by planning meals, utilizing leftovers, and supporting initiatives that address food distribution inequalities. 4. Fair trade and certification labels. Consumers can look for fair trade and certification labels when making food choices. These labels indicate that the products meet certain ethical and sustainability standards, providing transparency about the sourcing and production practices. 5. The role of education and awareness. Promoting ethical eating requires education and awareness. Consumers benefit from understanding the impact of their food choices on various aspects of society, the environment, and animal welfare. Educational campaigns, documentaries, and accessible information contribute to informed decision-making. 6. Challenges in ethical eating. A. Accessibility and affordability. Ethical and sustainable food choices may face challenges of accessibility and affordability, particularly for marginalized communities. Efforts to address these disparities are essential for creating a more inclusive food system. B. Balancing priorities. Individuals may face the challenge of balancing various ethical considerations. For example, choosing locally sourced produce may conflict with the desire for year-round access to certain fruits and vegetables. 7. The business of ethical eating. As consumer demand for ethical and sustainable products grows, businesses are increasingly adopting transparent and responsible practices. Companies that prioritize ethical sourcing, fair labor practices, and sustainability contribute to the shift towards a more conscious and responsible food industry. 8. Collective impact and advocacy. The impact of ethical eating extends beyond individual choices to collective action. Advocacy for policy changes, supporting organizations promoting ethical practices, and participating in community initiatives contribute to a broader movement for a more ethical and sustainable food system. Conclusion. Ethical eating and sustainable food choices represent a compass guiding individuals towards a more responsible and mindful relationship with food. As we navigate the complex web of ethical considerations, each choice made at the dining table becomes a catalyst for positive change, fostering a more just, sustainable, and compassionate global food system.